Hi class, in this lesson I'm going to talk about the concept of comparative advantage and also absolute advantage. So comparative advantage is when you compare two economy or two company or two people, is whoever have a lower opportunity cost. And then for absolute advantage is whoever can produce more of which good. Now, let's look at this example over here. We have two economy, China, US, and then for each economy, they all have two productions, so either computers or cars. Now, before you're looking for the comparative advantage, let's look at the absolute advantage first. So for absolute advantage, it's talking about whichever country can produce more of whichever good. So for China, at maximum, they can produce 80 computer. And then for America, at maximum can produce 100 computer. So we say the US has an absolute advantage in computer. Now, for China, China can produce 100 cars in maximum. US can produce 80 cars in maximum. So we say China has an absolute advantage in cars. So all you have to do is just compare to see whichever country can produce more of each good. But for comparative advantage, what you need to look for is whichever country have a lower opportunity cost. To find the comparative advantage, what I want you to do is that before you find the answer, I want you to set up the four prices. So find the price of computer in China, in terms of cars, and then find the price of cars in China in terms of computer, and then second, find the price of computer in terms of cars in US, and also find the price of cars in terms of computers in US. Now remember, we're not looking for the actual price for each good. What we're looking for is the price of the good in terms of the other good. So what's the opportunity cost of producing a computer or cars in each country? So for China, for computer price, when China produce 0 computers, they have 100 cars. When they produce 80 computers, they have 0 cars. So for these two extreme points, it looks like that every time China produce 80 computers, they lose 100 cars. Because when you produce 80 computers, this car production lowered from 100 to 0. So you lose 100 cars. So for this equation, we're going to put 100 cars on top and 80 computers on the bottom. So if you simplify it, this will be 5/4 cars. So in China, whenever they produce a computer, it will cost them 5/4 car. And then for the price of car in China, we can do the same thing. So for the price of car in China, that for every 100 car we produce in China, we lose 80 computers. So we're going to put 100 cars on the bottom and then 80 computers on top. So if you simplify, this will become 4/5 computers. So for every car we produce in China, we will lose 4/5 computers. And then for the price of computer in US, we do the same calculation. We're going to put number of computers on the bottom, which is 100 computers. So 100 computers on the denominator. Going to put 80 cars on the numerator on top. So if you simplify it, this will be 4/5 cars. And then for the price of car in US, I'm going to put car on the bottom, so there will be 80 cars. And then put computer on the top, there will be 100 computers. And that will give you 5/4 computer. So once you finish with the four prices, the next step is to see whichever country has a lower price on which good. Now let's compare computer first. So for computer in China, it will cost you 5/4 cars. And then for computer in US, it costs you 4/5 cars. So the computer price in US is cheaper. So we say US has a comparative advantage in computer. And then for cars, now the price for car in China is 4/5 computer, and then the price for car in US is 5/4 computer. So China has a lower price on cars. So China is comparative advantage in cars. Now you're finished, but there are some shortcuts in here. So for the shortcut, when looking for the four prices within the same country, once you find the price for one good, the price for the other good is the reciprocal of the same price. So what it means that, for example, looking for the price in China, and you already have the price for computer in China, which is 5/4 cars. If you're looking for the price of cars in China, all you need to do, just take this number over here and flip it over. You flip it over, 5/4 becomes 4/5. And the same thing in US. For US, the computer price is 4/5 cars. Now once you have this number over here, looking for the price of car in US, you take this number and flip it over, it becomes 5/4. So the price of two good in the same country, they're the reciprocal of each other. Now the second shortcut is that for comparative advantage, it's always one country, one advantage. So once you know that US has a comparative advantage in computers, that means automatically China must have a comparative advantage in cars. Now, if anytime you realize that you have one country have two comparative advantage, that means you got it wrong somewhere. So for comparative advantage, it's always one country, one advantage. But for absolute advantage, it's possible to have one country to have two absolute advantage in both good. Okay, so this concludes this lesson. If you have any question, let me know. Send me an email. Thank you very much.